A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our afternoon session for day one of our APAC Summit. I hope you guys have had a good lunch. All right, for those of you online, hope you guys had a good lunch as well, but please try not to fall asleep. Hopefully we can be good accompaniment if you are still eating, all right? So again, for those of you who have joined us this morning, thanks for staying with us. This afternoon we'll be seeing the financial services startups pitch, as well as a couple of panels and keynotes, followed by a break, in which thereafter we have our GK Plug and Play Indonesia segment. So my name is Wayne. I'm going to be your host for today and tomorrow. I think for those of you who will be hearing from us and staying throughout the 2 days, you will see me and hear me introduce myself a total of 6 times. Right? I don't want to sound like a broken recorder, but this is for folks, the benefit of folks that have just joined us in person as well as online. All right? So my name is Wayne. I lead the Plug and Play team in Singapore, and I drive our investments in the Southeast Asia region. So this afternoon, we will have a keynote from our corporate partner, MSIG, as well as a panel talking about the crypto and the Web3 space. We'll also be having startups pitching both in person and virtually across our Fintech and Insurtech programs. So some housekeeping items before we begin, and a couple I need to kind of remind you guys. The mask mandate, all right? So just a reminder that we're still in the middle of a COVID endemic now, right? So please, if you're not eating or drinking, please keep your masks on. We've been told that there are some safe distancing ambassadors on the prowl here, so please, we don't want to steal you on social media. All right. So, couple of housekeeping items. So, Wi-Fi, please, you can connect to Marina Bay Sands free Wi-Fi. If you're interested you're curious where the toilet is, we have 2 sets of toilets diagonally outside across the hall. And on this screen, you'll see a QR code which gives you access to our e-booklet. For those of you that are here in person, I know that you have a small physical booklet that you have in your hands. But for those of you online, you can access our e-booklet using the QR code. It has details, more details on some of the startups that are pitching today, as well as some of our activities. On the polling sheet, okay, so for those of you who have joined us over the last 2 years online, you will remember seeing a Zoom window pop up to let you indicate whether you would like to connect to the startups after the session. For those of you here today, you have a physical polling form. So this is for you to kind of indicate which startups you like to be introduced to, whether be it they are pitching in person or online. Remember to fill in your name and your contact details, especially your email, and then drop it off at the registration counter before you leave. We do have networking for pre-registered corporate and investor attendees tonight and tomorrow night at Raffles Place. So please, again, bear in mind these are only for pre-registered folks because we're already over capacity and oversubscribed for those sessions. Right? So please, those that are visiting, please bring along your name tags. Also, for those of you who are joining us again tomorrow, please bring your name tags along. And last bit, for the sake of easy networking, a bit of color coding on the tags, right? So those who are wearing light blue tags, they are Plug and Play team members. Those that are wearing pink or purple tags, they are startups. Those that are wearing green tags, they are investors and community partners. And those in dark blue, they are corporate as well as government attendees. All right. Are you guys ready to begin our afternoon segment? Wow, this is food coma. All right, one more time, okay? Are you guys ready to begin our afternoon segment? And that's much better. All right, to give you an overview and introduction of our financial services, can I introduce Manav, our new financial services lead that has joined us just a couple of weeks ago. He'll be sharing a bit about our history and about what we do as part of the financial services team in Singapore. Can we invite Manav to join us on stage? Round of applause for Manav, please.
Thanks, Wayne. I don't look like that anymore, so if anyone's looking for me, this is how I look like. Good afternoon. I'm Manav. I lead the financial services vertical at Plug and Play Asia Pacific. So an overview of the vertical. Financial services, which comprises of Fintech and Insurtech, was started off with Plug and Play Silicon Valley in 2014. And we brought it to Singapore in 2018 to lead innovation in the Southeast Asian region and partner with innovative companies and be a part of this exciting melting pot of startup ecosystem. In 2020, we launched the Startup Creosphere APAC to start our health program as part of the Insurtech vertical. And we did this in partnership with Roche. Today, we work with 12 leading corporations in the region, helping them collaborate with startups at the bleeding edge of innovation. I would like to thank all of these partners for their belief in us and supporting us since 2018. We constantly take feedback from our corporate partners and from our startups so we can keep innovating, we can make and keep our offerings relevant and more valuable. In the past 6 months, we've launched thematic trend reports, which are a part of the engagements we do with the corporates. Here, we deliver detailed insights, trends, and analysis on the selected focus areas for these corporates, and we deliver this to them as part of the engagement. And we found this to be really valuable for them. Also, we've launched a new engagement model called the POC track. Here, we are matchmaking corporates and startups specifically to enable POCs and pilots so that they can get started and start working on projects where the good fit can be made. We started in 2018. Since then, we've done 8 batches, 45 events, 160 plus startups have been accelerated across 210 deal flows. And we've also enabled 8 investments. Part of these 8 investments include Brancas, which raised $20 million Series B led by Insignia Venture Partners with Visa, as well as Arrow, which raised $4.8 million led by Sequoia Capital. And we are just getting started. This is the Singapore Financial Services and Health team. I'm very excited and glad to get started as part of this team, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you and collaborating with you. Thanks. I would like to now invite Yunhua on stage. She's the head of programs, and she will take you all through more details of our program.
Thank you, Manav, and hi, everyone. My name is Yunhua. I oversee our financial services programs and also our health vertical here in Singapore. Thank you for joining us for our Batch 7 Financial Services Expo today. These will be the focus areas which we are looking at. So as you can see, there are a wide range of focus areas ranging from insurance to health, finance, and even general enterprise type focus areas. These will be the startups which you'll be seeing pitched later. So these are a mix of our Batch 7 financial services startups, as well as some of our portfolio companies, and will be a mix of in-person and virtual pitches. Just to share what we have done in the beginning of this year, so we started off the year by inviting our corporate partners and leads from our financial services and health verticals to join us to kick off the year together. In April, we organized our first hybrid event of the year, which is our Crypto Innovation Day, where we explored the collaboration between Web2 and Web3 players. We also announced the soft launch of our crypto vertical. Our speakers included Hedera and the HBAR Foundation, Clayton, Blockchain Association of Singapore, and more. In May, we organized a webinar together with our Munich office to explore the intersections between sustainability and insurance. And our speakers included the German Sustainability Network. Not pictured here, but just yesterday we had our Circle of CEOs lunch where our Batch 7 Financial Services co-founders came together to network and share their common challenges along their entrepreneurship journey. And in July, we'll be having our Investors Day, where our fundraising startups will be pitching to our investors network. Touching briefly on health tech, this is our Startup Crazeful APAC program, which we are running together with our corporate partner, Roche. So this is the batch one, which we just ended at the end of last year, looking at focus areas such as women's fertility, ophthalmology, and diabetes care. We will be starting batch 2 of our program next week, looking at focus areas such as mental health, digital pathology, and liver screening. So if you're a corporate who would like to redefine your innovation strategy, please feel free to approach myself or anyone from the Plug and Play team. Next, I'd like to pass it on to Kent, our corporate partnerships manager, who will be sharing an exciting announcement in our crypto vertical. Kent, please.
Thank you, Yunhua. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the party. My name is Kent. I look after bringing in new corporate partners to our exciting platform, as well as this, launching our new crypto vertical. So before that, a quick story about crypto history. Plug and Play has actually been backing crypto since 2013. Ever since our long days back in the Silicon Valley, we have been one of the earliest hosts of the Silicon Valley Bitcoin meetups. These meetups later on spread across the world, and the popularity was taken over later by Ethereum meetups and so on. But we were one of the earliest hosts in Silicon Valley. Every Tuesday evening for this meetup happened in our office for 3 years in a row, since 2013 to 2016. After that, we also launched the world's first Bitcoin incubator program. You can find this online in the news. From those programs, we also selectively invest in a couple of startups that accumulated to over 100 portfolios that we have today. In 2014, we also hosted the world's first ever Bitcoin job fair in California. Even back then, we saw more than 400 participants in these events, and it's exciting to see how the industry has grown over time now. Last year, we were ranked by PitchBook as one of the top 6 investors in blockchain and crypto by deal count. And it's a great honor, and we'd love to continue to support the industry. Some of our portfolios are featured there. It's been growing very fast. We have captured a couple of unicorns, and we hope to grow with all of them. Next up, I'd like to announce the launch of our new global crypto and Web3 accelerator. The theme is where Web 2 meets Web 3. As all of you know, that Plug and Play is very strong in terms of our corporate network on top of our startup network. So this is where we like to help the industry advance by connecting Web 2 and Web 3 together. We want to build a system of ecosystem of change makers, putting together the Web 2 corporations, the Web 3 builders, ranging from layer 1s, layer 2s, exchanges, crypto funds, crypto asset managers, and of course, the other players, including the regulators, the builders, the founders, all together to put this. It's going to be a global platform. We have last year launched 9 new locations globally, and we'll continue to launch more. In terms of our offices, now we have over 40 offices globally, and we believe this is very vital to support this industry as a global industry. Here are a couple of our launch partners. Later on, we'll be doing a panel, and we'll be inviting some of our new partners to join us as well. We have Clayton and Alliance Block that will be launching with us. A quick run-through of what the solution looks like if you are looking to partner with us on the crypto vertical. Whether you are a bank, whether you're an insurance company, a payment firm, or you are a crypto player, be it layer 1, layer 2 firms, or exchanges and so on, we have it for you. Mainly 3 types. 1, network access. 2, community events. 3, accelerator access. So these are broken down into different types of accesses. So from the network side, we can bring you to put in touch with the right public chains, right corporates for the partnership, right community partners, as well as put you in touch in the global demo days like this. Number 2, workshops. This would be very useful for corporates and executives who are just getting to know more about the crypto and blockchain and what are the use cases. And of course, not to mention the branding, event, and networking that we have been organizing over the years. And last but not least, accelerator programs to put together the corporates and the startups, and which would drive the pilots and the proof of concept throughout those accelerator programs. It can be broken down into a couple of different sides. Whether you are exchange or public chains, or your venture funds, or your corporations, we welcome you all. If you'd like to have a chat, we'd love to see you later. Now, as you have seen this morning, in the next couple of hours and tomorrow, you can see that Plug and Play has a lot of verticals. And throughout these verticals, we find a lot of them that are really applicable to crypto and Web3. So that's why we have identified some of them, from sustainability, brands, fintech, enterprise, Insurtech, travel, and logistics, to be one of some of those potential areas that we can put crypto startups, crypto corporates, and traditional corporates in touch and figure out new use cases. This is going to be a global platform. We have colleagues from here, from US, from Europe, China, and Japan to really run this together and bring to you a global platform. Thank you very much. I hope to stay in touch with you. And if you're interested in this, please look for me after this session. Thank you. So next, I'd like to welcome Annie, the EVP of BD and digitization at MSIG Asia, to give her keynote. Welcome, Annie.
Thank you, Ken. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today and to be able to meet everybody in person after 2 years of online meetings, Zoom, and everything. Would like to thank Plug and Play for having me here today. Really, it's an honor for me to be able to share with all of you about a global trend, about GI trends and innovation from an MSIG perspective. My name is Annie. Already explained, I'm the Executive Vice President for Business Development and Digitalization at MSIG Asia. Before I move on, a brief about MSIG. MSIG Asia is basically a part of MS&AD Insurance Group. We are the regional offices, and we cover 14 markets in the Asian and Hong Kong and also Australia and New Zealand. As you can see here, I think we are the only insurance company with presence in every Asian countries. From the big one until the smallest one also, we have the operation there. And with that, about our parent company, MS&AD Insurance Group, this is a Fortune Global 500. We are top 8 global P&C insurer. And we have the operation in more than 50 countries and regions. Okay, that's all about MSIG and MS&AD. Now back to the topic today. Basically, before we start, let's look back at the past 2 years. The past 2 years, we have this COVID pandemic that also caused a global crisis. Okay, so now, what are the key lessons? What are the key lessons that we learned from the previous experience, especially for general insurance industry? First, we are seeing that during the COVID, during the pandemic, the reinsurance or insurance industry remains a very vital risk absorber in times of crisis. We are proud for being able to be there for our customers in the most difficult time. We can support them in their crisis period. So this is very important for us to make sure that we can continue to improve our performance and services for our customer. The next that we noticed that supply chain disruption caused by this global crisis, okay, impacted to all business, society, and this shows us that a better protection is needed. We also noted a record-breaking weather extremes. This definitely adds to the urgency to the race to net zero. I'm sorry. Let me take this off. A bit hard to breathe. Okay. Oh, thank you. So we also noted that basically crisis has also bring the risk awareness of our people. Now people become more aware how important it is for them to have an insurance protection. This is definitely, I can say this is a positive side of COVID, that we can now, the needs of insurance become more. So it's a good opportunity for insurance company. Next is digitalization. Nobody can debate that the COVID, the crisis, has accelerated the adoption of digital for everyone, not only for us. You know, we learn, we were forced to learn, to work online, to study online, to shop online. Even my 76-year-old mother have to learn to use video call to communicate with her grandchildren. Painful, but luckily for insurance company, we are more lucky because we are seeing a segment of customer that is more welcome to digital and online insurance. And we also noted increasing in inequality. This may impact of our social inflation as well. Okay, now based on this all lessons that we learned previously, how we see the general insurance trends to come in the next couple of years from MSIG perspective. The first thing that we see is definitely customer centricity. Okay, in the future, not in the future, it's happening now. Everything is talking about customer. It's not work anymore. It doesn't work anymore that we push our products to the customer and ask them to buy. Now everything, we have to see it from the customer point of view. What kind of product they need? So we have to put ourselves in their shoes. And we need to reimagine the customer value. The proposition that we have to bring to the customer must meet their needs. So definitely everybody is trying to meet this customer centricity. And online convenience is definitely something customer is looking for now. So we are, as I mentioned earlier, we are dealing with a customer in insurance industry who welcomes the digital era easier. So these people enjoy convenience to do things online. So insurance also needs to move there. You know, insurance is a traditional business that's hard to change. But definitely now, we need to change. We need to change to survive. We need to change to grow. And the last segment is SME focus. This is the segment of customer that is, in the past, not so, how to say, not so focused. Not many insurance focus on SME segment, but actually, SME is the segment that is most resilient and very agile to survive the crisis in the past. We can see they play a very important role to make sure the economics is still going on in the middle of the crisis, because they transform quickly. I think by the size, easier for them to take a risk. You know, so they can do a lot of transformation without, you know, if you are a big corporation, always you have to do such a thing about the risk for everything, right? So that's why SME can grow so fast during the crisis. Next is what we see definitely, I think no doubt about this one, digitalization and tech-driven innovation. It's everywhere now. That's why we are here today. That's why Plug and Play is holding these events to all of us. So we have seen how digital changed the world, how they try to plus point and positive point and negative point. They improve, they also bring disruption. Depends on how businesses respond to this digitalization. But definitely for insurance industry, we are seeing that through this digitalization, we are able to provide better product, service for the digital world. Yeah? And now we are talking about bite-sized insurance. Now we are talking about embedded insurance. Bite-sized insurance is always a challenge for an old-fashioned underwriter. You know, it's not, how to say, difficult for us to imagine that in the past. But with the technology, it is all possible now. And with this, we also have the potential of data and analytics, and we also see the potential of cybersecurity in the future. Okay, collaboration at scale. Definitely, everybody is talking about collaboration now. Rather than trying to conquer the world by ourselves, to win the competition by ourselves, we look for collaboration. Collaboration with partners, collaboration with other organizations that can help us to grow or to achieve a higher efficiency. So for insurance, basically, we collaborate with ecosystem players to embed the insurance in the customer's daily life. Environment, social, and corporate governance is also a trend now. This is may not have nothing to do with insurance only, but it should come to awareness of every corporation. We should all aware about this. The environment, the social, the corporate governance, the sustainability. So in insurance, we should also embedding ESG as our core, and also in our business strategy. Race for talent and future of work. Race of talent, I think we all know, yeah, how challenging we are in recruiting the young talent. But the most, I think the hot topic, the hot trend right now is about talking about hybrid working environment. The COVID has taught us, apparently, we can work properly. We can maintain productivity. We can work, how to say, nicely, even from everywhere, from your home, from your country. So that is the trending now. Every company is thinking how to implement this hybrid working in their organization. Okay, so this is what we see as the trend coming on for the general insurance industry. Now, how MSIG will respond to these trends. Okay. In MSIG, basically, for digitalization and tech-driven innovation, we are happy to, wait. Okay, so for digitalization and tech-driven innovation, basically, MSIG also try to improve the customer experience by introducing the video survey for home and motor insurance for the convenience of our customer. This is how we adopt one of the example, how we introduce and utilize digitalization for our customer experience. And at the collaboration at scale area, we launched the collaboration with Home Credit, in which MSIG is their regional partner, providing insurance protection for their customers. So basically, we are happy we can support and become partner of Home Credit in serving the underserved segment. So this is what we're doing. Other than partnership with Home Credit, of course, we are also partnership with Plug and Play. Here, with Plug and Play, I think very much appreciated. They have introduced us to provide us with a steady source of startup company, yeah, that can help us, that can address to our business units pain point, not only pain point, but also focus area and strategy of growth. So by cooperation with Plug and Play, basically we save our time, our energy to, if we have to do that by ourselves, can you imagine how many times we have to allocate to meet every startup company to hear of their capabilities, to choose one by one which is the best? I cannot describe that. So very much with Plug and Play, basically they come with a very already scrutinized the option, already selected ones that meets our needs. So yeah, later on this area, I will touch further there. On ESG, in MSIG, other than try to embed that in our corporate value, in our core corporate value, we also launch a product that is supporting ESG. One of the products that we have is basically solar PV insurance product. So this, generating green energy, yeah, using the solar PV system requires a significant investment, right? So MSIG provide insurance coverage to protect those assets from the risk of theft, fire, and other kind of accidents. And other than that, we also have introduced the weather index insurance. This is a parametric insurance designed to support our farmers against the risk of change of weather index. Okay. And going deeper to the Insurtech collaboration area, next I will present to you several case studies that giving you more understanding about what we have done in this Insurtech collaboration. The first one, this is about Claim e-doc project with Blue Sheets. When we prepare this material, we didn't expect that Blue Sheets will be here today. So this is also the first opportunity for us to meet them. So this is not a promotion, okay? But for me, for us, for MSIG point of view is that the ultimate goal of this project is basically to digitize our claim operation and services. And for this, Plug and Play introduced us to Blue Sheets, and Blue Sheets introduced their capability that can help us achieve what we want to do. With Claim e-doc, basically our claim department can go paperless for claims, and this enable efficient claim processing. Future data analytic also enabled by this, and they support sustainability as well. It streamlines our claim document handling process and improve the end-to-end customer and employee journey, not only customer, employee as well, because our employee also get benefit of the improved process internally, right? By this, the centralized document management process is achieved. Scanning, archiving, data capture, indexing, it makes so easy for us to retrieve the document and to make analysis of the claim as well. Okay, a bit about Blue Sheets. Maybe later they can explain better than me. Okay, Blue Sheets is the leading AI-based data transformation platform, and basically they help us to streamline the processing of unstructured data at scale. So the interesting point is basically their, how to say, OCR, optical character recognition. I'm right, okay. There are OCR, RPA, and AI that help us a lot, because structured and non-structured. So we can basically convert all into the electric data, yeah. And this basically respond directly to the needs of our business units, and it help us digitizing the claim documents. We started with motor insurance class, but then because the experience was so good, finally our Singapore business units also try to implement this for all business lines. So we have went through the POC process and reviewed the experience. And this is what we can inform to everybody here, that basically we managed to bring down our processing time from 5 to 2 hours. This is a very significant improvement in efficiency. And not only that, as I mentioned earlier, it's also improved our staff morale and skill. It brings down our manual handling of physical files, so we can achieve 18% more efficiency in our claim operating expenses. That's very significant for an insurance company. And also the data analytic help us to do the fraud detection. So this is also improving the underwriting result for our motor business. Okay, the next case that I would like to share is Medigo with CoverGo. Okay, Medigo with CoverGo. This is basically our medical insurance management platform. This is for health insurance. Our business units in Hong Kong started the collaboration with CoverGo, also introduced by Plug and Play. The goal is, basically our Hong Kong unit is looking for a full end-to-end system for their health insurance businesses to replace their old ones. And CoverGo come with their solution. They provide this platform that can fulfill the needs. So we reduce the manual processing, automate all the process and workflow, and improve overall customer experience as well, because customer can now submit their claims and also administer their policy online. So it's also good for customer. They don't have to call to insurance company, receive by some machines and ask them to key in number and wait for customer service to attend to them. Now everything they can do their own, and they can see the real-time status of their claims. And this system also enable us ease of product configuration. It's very good to make us, we can attend to the market needs very quickly. Okay, so this is the journey. I think the result is clear here. We have a brand new user-friendly interface. We reduce the manual processing of claim filing. Customer experience improve because they can submit their claim online as well. Okay. This is only introduction about the looks or the appearance of the Medigo itself. So the unique for this is that basically in this Medigo, you have a view for the insured members, a view for employers as well, and a view for insurance company. So all this are enabled under the platform. Let me see if I forget any important notes about this. Well, I think that's I think I have informed some of the example of that, and that will be the end of my explanation today. In overall, we have shared with all of you what the lessons we learned from the past 2 years' experience, what we see as a trend of GI in the next coming couple years, and how MSIG responded to that trend, and share some of the case that we have gone through with our partners here. And from MSIG, basically, we will continue further to transform and to digitalize our business, our processes, and also customer centricity to make it more interesting for our customer to do the journey together with us. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie, for the valuable insight and also for the kind words towards Plug and Play. So hello, everyone. I'm Junho from Plug and Play's venture team here in Singapore, looking after the APAC region. It is a great pleasure and an honor to meet you all today, physically here in Marina Bay Sands, as well as virtually through Zoom. I'll be your segment MC for Insurtech for this afternoon. Now for our main event of the day, we'll hear from eight of our Batch 7 startups tackling various opportunities within the insurance segment. After each pitch, please remember to fill out the polling sheets, either physically or virtually. To kick us off, JF will share with us how Elfie is helping patients seamlessly manage their chronic conditions, starting with hypertension. Please welcome JF.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. You can see the timer starting. Okay. Thank you very much. My name is JF. I'm a co-founder at Elfie, a company specializing in reducing the burden of chronic disease for employers and insurers. We are a team of 19 experts coming from the healthcare field, the technology field, and the consumer brand area. We're also surrounded by advisors coming from the public healthcare system, the pharmaceutical industry, and the insurance industry. The problem we tackle is the number one problem in healthcare, chronic diseases, starting with hypertension. A few numbers for those of you not completely familiar. It is, if we take the numbers of hypertension only, 1.4 billion patients in the world. It is the number one cause of death. You take COVID, you take cancer, you take a few other diseases, and you still struggle to meet that number one condition. It is avoidable, that's the good news. It is not controlled in the world today because it is detected too late and patients are not adherent. This made insurers present in the room spend $2 trillion per year to pay for the healthcare bills that could have been avoided. It also generates a lot of comorbidities, other diseases. How do we help in this environment? We are a medical companion that reduces the burden of chronic disease. We look at how solutions were addressing this issue today, and we address the four main pitfalls of digital health solution. Number one, we've created the first self-monitoring plan that helps prevent chronic disease and manage them when an injury start having it. We also have created the first proactive human coaching that is scalable, which means one of our coaches can cater to 5,000 patients at a time. We are medically endorsed and distributed by doctors and nurses in public and private hospitals without being regulated as a medical device, and we are free for the patient with gamification sponsored by the insurers, their employers, and the hospitals. We're helping the patient, obviously, at the center, but we're helping doctors in their diagnostic. We're helping pharmaceutical companies with their sales, and we're helping employers and insurers reduce the burden of health claims. What we have achieved so far, we launched the company in 2 countries at a time, Brazil and Vietnam. We have a plan to roll out 20 countries in the next 3 years. We have already acquired and retained 15,000 monthly active users. We are the first application certified in Brazil and in Vietnam by the medical authorities. We are the first application in the largest chronic disease clinical study in the world run by Albert Einstein in Brazil for $300 million. And we have signed a global pharma partnership that makes us profitable for the next 5 years. They help us in R&D, they help us in medical credibility, as well as market access. We have a strong portfolio of chronic disease products coming to play. Our clinical study will start in hypertension, with the next 5 chronic diseases coming very quickly after. We work with employers and insurers with a standalone application and a white label solution to help them tackle and reduce the burden of chronic disease. With employers and health insurers, we work on a fee per employee. With life insurers, we work at cost and are only paid when we reduce the cost of claims for insurers. So this is healthy. If you're an employer, if you're an insurer, come and talk to us and we'll see what we can do to help you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, JF. Please take a moment to actually fill in your polling sheets, either physically or virtually. Take a few more seconds. And we'll be collecting these polling sheets at the front where we distributed them to you. So next up, Joel will share with us how Protos Labs helps insurers and enterprises quantify cyber risk in monetary terms by combining cybersecurity, AI, and statistical modeling. Please welcome Joel.
Hi, my name is Joel, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Protos Labs. Our mission is to enable every business in Asia Pacific to be cyber insured. Protos Labs was founded by a team of ex-Booz Allen cybersecurity consultants who have advised large global FSI clients in cyber risk quantification. We see immense potential in the cyber insurance market and are now taking our know-how to the insurers. Our technology has passed technical evaluation by the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, and we are also winners of several global startup competitions. The cyber insurance market is exploding. However, insurers are struggling to succeed. Only 27% of corporates globally are currently cyber insured. In 2020 alone, the top 20 cyber insurers also lost $1.7 billion in claims, with loss ratios increasing to 73% on average. Insurers face 4 key challenges across the cyber insurance value chain that are unique to Asia Pacific. Firstly, small medium enterprises or SMEs in Asia have poor cyber hygiene and are too risky to be insured. Secondly, insurance brokers here in Asia lack the expertise to communicate the value of cyber insurance effectively. Thirdly, traditional actual models used by insurers do not account for the dynamic changes in the cyber threat landscape. And lastly, insurers lack regional historical claims data, which are used to determine premium prices. How are we solving this problem? We are building a full-stack cyber risk platform that addresses pain points across the cyber insurance ecosystem of end users, brokers, and insurers. First, we offer proactive cyber services to SME end users to reduce their likelihood of a breach and correspondingly a claim. Next, we equip insurers brokers with a cyber sales tool that enables them to increase sales conversions and customer acquisition. And lastly, we equip insurers with advanced cyber quantification models that accurately quantify the cyber risk of a policyholder. Our platform has 3 key capabilities. Firstly, our proactive cyber services provides continuous dark web monitoring, phishing simulations, and compliance checks to reduce an SME's exposure points that can be exploited by an attacker, thereby improving their cyber hygiene and qualifying them for cyber insurance. Secondly, our on-demand cyber sales tool profiles an organization's digital footprint, in real time and provides these insights to agents on the field to enhance customer acquisition and increase conversion rates. And lastly, our enterprise-grade risk quantification reduces an insurer's risk undertaking by assessing a client's risk profile using both scenario and statistical analysis and correlates these results with similar historical data breaches in Asia Pacific. This informs pricing decisions with outputs such as annualized average losses and probable maximum losses that are tailored to the Asia Pacific market. We project a total addressable market of US $12.7 billion with a serviceable obtainable market of about $100 million. Our business model involves deploying our technology to enable service providers, enterprises, and insurance stakeholders. In the near term, our strategy involves us targeting SME end users as an initial beachhead into the market, while furthering some of the partnerships with insurers and brokers in parallel. This allows us to collect valuable SME cyber posture data, which is valuable to insurers. Our diversified revenue stream allows us to scale significantly, and we project to achieve about 60 times ROI by 2025. Since entering the market 5 months ago, we have achieved an average of 2 POC conversations per month. To cite some examples, we have been shortlisted by Hannover Re, the third largest reinsurer in the world, to power the cyber insurance pricing for Asia Pacific. In addition, we have also been awarded one large enterprise engagement valued at 600,000 Singapore dollars with a university in Singapore. If you'd like to partner with us or you'd like to profit in the cyber insurance market, we'll be happy to have a chat and look no further and approach us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. So another reminder to fill up your polling sheets. Take a few seconds. For those of you joining us virtually, please do so on your Zoom pop-up. Next up, Prasant will share how Fido AI is helping individuals and insurers to accurately predict health risks of themselves and their retail clients.
Every aspect of our life is measured, except health. My name is Prashant Madhavana. I am the co-founder of Fido. I would like to introduce the Fido score, your credit score for health. The global burden of diseases is at a whopping 47 trillion USD, affecting over 800 million people worldwide. Even in countries like US, more than 90% of the people with kidney diseases cannot identify or are unaware of their disease's risk, leading to financial and other difficulties. The Fido score computes your health risk and the associated cost using your demographics, habits, and lifestyle. Ranging from 0 to 1000, where 0 is a dead guy and 1000 being a superman, a score of 600 and above is considered to be a healthy individual. This score is a compilation of your risk for multiple diseases and the predicted medical cost over the next few years. We have built this using 100 million records and around 10,000 plus medical journals and reports with a real world accuracy level of 80%. And in terms of insurance, a higher Fido score ensures a faster policy approval and a lower premium. While a credit score of health has multiple use cases, let us consider the solution for the insurance. The Fido can enable a faster, cheaper onboarding and underwriting for inbound customers, alternative data capture, a real-time portfolio management, and an interactive member health engagement. This ready-to-deploy models, including claims frequency and severity, diseases-based risk, and the ability to include any medical or lab reports. You can see a dashboard snapshot where we compare the incoming individual. What is his Fido score? How is his claims? How is his claims going to perform over the next 5 years? And what could be the loss effect on loss ratio of this individual coming on board? The drivers of performance, opportunities, and products can be identified and monitored on a real-time basis. And we can also use the same mechanism to build a lifestyle plus disease management program to make a maximum impact. In terms of alternate data capture, our system is able to capture multiple parameters from a face, a short video of 14 seconds, your BMI, whether you're a smoker or not, what is your blood pressure levels, random blood sugar, and other parameters, which could add as an augmented data for your underwriting requirements. We can also use the same mechanism to build a more comprehensive disease management and lifestyle health combined program, which could give you the maximum impact. Let us connect separately and discuss how we can partner with you to build a specific program for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasant. A reminder again to fill in your polling sheets if you want to get in touch with any of our startups presenting here and virtually. Our team will make sure to get you in touch with them via email or other communication methods. All right, so next up, Matthew will explain to us how Kumata can help insurers to unlock the value of behavioral and activity data.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about Kumata. Kumata is the new standard for insurance underwriting. We want a mission to revolutionize the life and health market globally. Our proposition unlocks digital data from consumer smartphones or activity trackers to conduct a risk assessment, which can be used to calculate additional mortality, morbidity, and even generate a health score. This in turn has a number of potential applications, such as streamlined underwriting for life and health products, supports customer engagement and reward programs, and can also drive customer acquisition by enabling pre-approved marketing offers and cross-sale opportunities. The complexity of underwriting in the life market still presents a challenge. We believe improving the underwriting experience will increase conversion and help grow the market. If we look at the challenges with traditional underwriting, it's a lengthy process. The application has many questions and may require further medical evidence. The questions are intrusive, with an in-depth health and lifestyle questionnaire which probes into sensitive medical issues. We put a high cognitive load on the customer by asking questions starting with, "Have you ever?" or "in the last 5 years?" And this in turn can lead to misrepresentation, whether that be accidental or intentional. And furthermore, customer expectation is changing, with increased demand for expedience and convenience, which is simply not delivered by traditional underwriting methods. The Kumata proposition can address all these challenges and significantly improve the customer experience. We have a modern underwriting approach, which is a data-driven risk assessment. The Kumata proposition is a set of APIs we integrate into a customer journey or marketing campaign. We invite customers to consent to share their profile and activity data held on their smartphone or activity tracker. The model is compatible with platforms such as Garmin, Google, Apple Health, Samsung, and Fitbit. From a smartphone, for example, we can pull through age, BMI, smoking status, and take all available activity data. The data is then put through the Kumata model, and we analyze this in around 30 seconds, and then we're then able to provide an insurance underwriting output, as well as a number of engagement scores. The minimum amount of activity data required is daily step count, and we look at the previous 30 days of activity and use 14. The activity data is used to calculate a MET value, which is metabolic equivalent of task, which is an overall measurement of fitness. In terms of how the model works, we take the data from the phone or activity tracker, and we use this to create a profile for the applicant. This profile is then compared against a hospitalization data set over 1 million customers over a 22-year period. And this allows us to calculate the propensity of the applicant to develop any one of 800 medical conditions. This risk is then converted into extra mortality and morbidity. We have conducted numerous proof of concepts where we compare our output to a traditional underwriting output. And typically, we have a match rate of between 85 and 96% against traditional outputs. And we can introduce 1 or 2 targeted medical questions to improve that match rate to 100%. Hopefully, the benefits are obvious. A significantly improved customer journey with far less friction, much faster, much less onerous for the customer, and a lower misrepresentation risk. But all this means higher conversion rate, stronger persistency, which means more lives are covered for longer and increased revenue. In terms of potential use cases, the Kumata model can be used to replace or augment the traditional underwriting process, and this is equally applicable to digital self-apply journeys or an intermediated journey or via an agent. Our proposition can also be embedded into other product lines to offer a seamless upsell opportunity. As well as providing the underwriting outputs, as mentioned, our model can also be used to generate a number of different engagement scores to the customer, and this includes a health score. And we can lead with the health score rather than the life insurance itself, and this has a number of potential benefits for both the insurer and the customer. It can be used to acquire more customers, which can be marketed pre-approved offers for life and health products. It can be used to achieve more competitive pricing for certain cohorts of customers who have high activity levels. We can also reward good behavior based on activity. And this can also support a long-term engagement with the customer to increase persistency. We can also upsell to enforce policies, and it can also be used to support dynamic pricing. If you'd like to hear more, then please get in touch. Thanks very much for listening.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, just another reminder for your polling sheets. Please fill them out if you ever want to get in touch with Kumata or any of our presenters today. As I understand, Kumata is also in the process of creating their Singapore team. So anyone interested in the APAC implementation, please make sure you fill out the polling sheets. Okay, so we're halfway there. For our fifth pitch, Jafar will share with us how J Secure helps to mitigate the risk of transporting high-value assets.
Hi. For every $10 million that the insurance company collects in premiums to insure cash and gold transit, they end up paying $7 million approximately in claims. But on the other hand, for the last 10 years, my team and I, we have managed to keep our losses to $400,000 for every $10 million collected. Yes, it is indeed an industry record, but we didn't want to stop our success there. We wanted our success to be sustainable and scalable, and that's why we created a superhero, Jaguar Transit. Imagine this superhero knowing all the trip details of each and every cash and gold transit. Imagine this superhero knowing the route taken by all the staff, the amount that they carry, the type of goods that they carry. Imagine one day this superhero telling you, please avoid this particular area. There's a high chance that you'll get robbed because there are some bad guys there. Guys, Jaguar Transit is not an imagination. We have developed the solution and we have deployed over 8,000 insured trips. We are very confident about this solution and we really want to go global now. Let me share with you what this Jaguar Transit is made up of. It's made up of 3 parts. Number 1, it's a secure bag that has got IoT, alarm, it's got GPS. It also has a lot of other security features like ink that can stain the cash notes in the event of a bank robbery, in the event of a robbery. It has got risk intelligence platform that we plug our bags to. This platform's main job is to keep, reading all this data to identify risk and to price it, to monitor the trips. In fact, if only conditions are met, this platform allows the bags to be opened. Thirdly, we embed these bags with transit insurance. So if you're carrying cash and gold using these bags, then you are insured seamlessly. Now, let us watch a video on Jaguar Transit.
If you transport high-value items or money for your business, or you're a courier company looking to transport those items for your customers, the increasing costs for insurance, armed guard security, and armored vehicles to protect against robbery and employee theft have so far simply been the cost of doing business. Jaguar is the one-stop, high-value transit solution that integrates pay-per-use insurance with our own high-tech security bags. Controlled start to finish from your smartphone. Using Jaguar replaces the need for expensive security, limits upfront insurance costs with pay-per-use rates, and minimizes the likelihood of robbery or employee theft, reducing risk and saving you as much as 40% on overall costs. Got a high-value delivery that needs to get there today? Jaguar now offers same-day delivery as well. Call us, talk to a consultant. Jaguar Transit. We've got this.
Thank you for the time and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Another reminder to fill up your polling sheets if you have not done so already. So next up, Nikos will share how Attestive is mitigating fraud by validating authenticity of image and video contents.
Hi, my name is Nikos Vikiridis. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Attestive, and at Attestive, we are on a mission to put authenticity into all digital media. That includes photos, videos, and documents. Why is this important for insurance? Well, there's over $40 billion in property and casualty fraud in the US alone every year. Automation and self-service have taken the insurance world by storm. In fact, analysts estimate over 70% of claims will be touchless by 2025. Finally, there are more ways to create fraudulent and synthetic media. You may have heard of deepfakes. Over 82% of businesses in a recent poll said they were concerned about fake digital media, but only 29% were actually taking action and doing something about it. So that's where Attestive comes in. What we do is we build trust and reduce risk with validated digital photos, videos, and documents. We provide fraud protection via our patented blockchain tamper-proofing and AI analysis, and what we enable is trusted self-service and straight-through automation. And we do that on a platform that provides enterprise security and interoperability with your existing applications via APIs. The way that Attestive works is you simply send us the photos via API or via workflow, and what we give you back is a report, and this report can be in digital or PDF format. What you get on the report is a high-level status on whether something inside needs attention. Now, perhaps 70 to 80% of claims will have nothing that needs attention, but for those that do, we give you drill downs to show you exactly what went wrong. Here's an example of a photo of a vehicle. This particular photo was not tamper-proof by Attestive, but that in and of itself doesn't tell you that there's anything wrong with it. But when it went through our AI analysis, we see that it's missing metadata, it's been edited with Photoshop, and worst of all, it was downloaded from the web. When something is downloaded from the web, we actually do a reverse search and show you exactly where that photo came from. Now, every photo is scored on a scale from 0 to 100. A score over 50 means that this photo is suspect. A score of 50 and under means that the photo is generally good. In this case, we scored 100, so a very high score, very suspicious photo. Looking at some of our customer use cases, ACD is an auto claims TPA, and they've built a fraud resilient service using the Attestive reports for every single claim. Harbor AI does underwriting for commercial businesses, and instead of sending an inspector to do inspections, they use a tamper-proof self-service inspection via Attestive, which saves them 80% in costs, improves the customer experience, and reduces risk. Attestive also works for personal property underwriting. Think of diamond rings, Rolex watches. Not only do you want to know that this item exists, but also you want to understand the condition and location of the item. And here's a brief demo.
Here's an example of someone attempting to submit a picture of a ring found on the internet along with a receipt to their insurance company. Using AI, we're able to extract the receipt data, reducing human error and simplifying the customer process. Once on the Attestive dashboard, we see that the photo has been analyzed and that it receives a high tamper score, and it was flagged as a picture of a computer screen. Reports and alerts are now sent to the appropriate insurance personnel so actions can be taken. This process can also be automated by immediately rejecting the original submission and requesting an alternate image, preventing this fraud attempt.
So at Attestive, we've built the most comprehensive digital photo and media analysis available on the market, and we've partnered with the biggest names in insurance to make this solution easy for you to use. We encourage you to learn more. Visit us at our website at attestive.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikos. Another reminder, please fill in your polling sheets, either virtually or physically. We'll be collecting those sheets at the end of the session so that we make sure to get you in touch with the startups presenting today. So next up, Andrea will share how Jejakin makes it easy for enterprises to track and offset their carbon footprint. Please welcome Andrea.
Andreas, the CEO of Jejakin. Jejakin is a climate tech company founded in 2019. We are here to solve three inherent problems found in climate projects. First, the manual monitoring process. This compromises the accountability of the project and resulting in the projects being run inefficiently. It has been proven that the lack of monitoring causes the survival rate of the trees to be extremely low. The limited access to climate actions. Individuals and businesses should be responsible to take actions towards the mitigations of climate change. But currently, there's little to no access to high-quality climate projects. Double counting. Because carbon offset is an intangible asset, there has been a massive problem in double counting, whereby the climate project is actually not contributing to the environment at all, thereby risking greenwashing to the corporate and individuals. Jejakin's end-to-end platform is designed to solve those problems and built to support any company's journey towards creating a sustainable business operations. As a start, we provide a carbon accounting software for companies to measure and understand their operational carbon emissions and provide actionable insights to assist the company's effort to become carbon neutral. Our software is designed with simplicity in mind, so that it can be used by businesses, users without any special requirement or qualifications. Jejakin also offers a carbon offset marketplace for companies and individuals alike. Users can easily contribute to climate projects and they will receive regular reports on the project's development. This is made possible by our proprietary MRV systems that incorporates the triple layer approach, namely the process of gathering data from the aerial imagery sources such as high fidelity satellite imaging, sensors such as air and soil quality sensors, and of course, ground check. All data are then processed by our machine learning algorithm, which will then result in impact analysis, so that contributors know exactly how the project is impacting the environment. We have been fortunate enough to be working with some of the region's most progressive companies from diverse industries, such as Danone Aqua, Gojek, Bank Aladdin, and Indonesia's Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. And together with them, we have monitored more than 200,000 hectares of land with more than 1.7 million trees planted and a total of 15,000 metric tons of CO2 being sequestered, with the local communities being involved in every step of the way, thereby ensuring prosperity for both the people and the planet. Let this be an invitation to collaborate in saving our tomorrow and making a greener Earth for our future generations.
Thank you, Andrea. So, another reminder to fill in your polling sheets if you have not done so. We're taking these requests in by virtually and also physically. For those of you joining us here, please fill up your polling sheets and then drop them off at the front desk. So for our last startup, Dale will walk us through how Hillridge provides accurate and dynamic agricultural insurance to farmers using weather and terrain data. Please welcome Dale.
Meet Ray, a wheat farmer near Mildura. Here is a young man. It's a bumper crop, but he worries because he can't get the insurance he needs to protect his business. He can buy fire and hail cover, but what really worries him is drought, frost, heat stress, and too much rain before harvest. He manages his land well over the decades, but in the end his health fails, and he sells the family farm at the height of the millennium drought. I'm Dale Schilling, CEO and co-founder of Hillridge, and Ray was my dad. Now, farming has always been risky. The weather, something farmers can't control, drives income volatility, as you see on this chart. Large agribusinesses buy derivatives to manage this risk, but small and medium-sized farms can't, and it's that gap, that lack of financial tools to manage weather risks, that's a problem shared by hundreds of millions of farmers around the world. The insurance industry calls it the climate protection gap. Globally, it's a $70 billion problem and a $5 billion opportunity for Insurtech companies like Hillridge. This gap is not because of data. Weather data, soil data, and crop models have all improved dramatically in recent years. Nor is it because of a lack of demand. The fact is, local insurers simply cannot risk their business by accumulating more local weather perils. So Hillridge has been working with large global insurers interested in agriculture to spread their risks. Our digital platform helps farmers buy weather index insurance to protect against drought, low temperatures, heat stress, too much rain, tropical storms. The farmer customises the policy, gets a price in seconds, and if that weather event occurs, their payout is fixed, fast, and guaranteed. It's different from traditional indemnity-based insurance in several ways. First, it's parametric, based on weather readings like temperature or rainfall. It's based on algorithms, not judgment calls. The end-to-end process is automated, and because it's automated, the variable cost for each policy is negligible, reducing the minimum contract size by 2 orders of magnitude. This makes weather insurance accessible for small and medium-sized businesses, including microinsurance for smallhold farmers in the developing world. Low-cost automated insurance is being trialled by a handful of startups, but it's our platform's ability to handle season-long, multiple perils that makes it truly differentiated. So, how do we make money? We license our technology to the insurer, who in turn pays us a percentage of premium revenues generated through our system. We signed with Liberty Specialty Markets and Mitsui Sumitomo Insurance and launched the product with the sort of support of Marsh and Nutrien, Australia's largest farm input supplier. On the back of this, we won the Global Extreme Tech Challenge, beating 3,700 other startups, all addressing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We self-funded the initial technology and business development and have just closed a $2.5 million seed round to fund our international expansion. The seed round was led by Artesian Venture Partners and Intervalley Ventures, and backed by Shanghai Capital and Acti Ventures. 7 of our top 20 markets are Asian countries. We believe Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand are great candidates for our international expansion, and we have a world-class team across Asia Pacific to make it happen. By 2040, climate change means that catastrophic weather will hit our farms now more than ever. Let's give farmers the tools they need to manage their weather risks, and with that, greater peace of mind and financial resilience for them and the communities they live and work in. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Last reminder for the Insurtech segment to fill out your polling sheets. That wraps up our session for Insurtech pitches. And we also know that there's a representative from Hillridge here as well, for those of you joining physically here at MBS. So please reach out to him. Yeah, and I'll be signing off. And for our next section of the afternoon, please welcome back Kent, who will be moderating today's panel discussion session. Please welcome Kent.
Hi again. It's been a long afternoon since lunch. I see that some people are a little bit tired after so many startup pitches. So why don't you give a stretch, raise your hands, give a tap on the shoulder on the person next to you, and get ready to the next session, which is our panel. So now we're going into our crypto, Web3, and NFT panel, a financial institution's perspective. In this panel, we will discuss how financial institutions view crypto, Web3, and NFT, and various roles that financial institutions play in promoting mass adoption of crypto use cases. We'll also talk about challenges and opportunities for financial institutions in this paradigm shift. First of all, I'd like to welcome Priyanka Baloni onto the stage. Priyanka is the Director of Partner Innovation at Visa. She leads Visa Accelerator Program to support growth stage fintech's expansion in Asia-Pacific region. Priyanka brings 10 years of product innovation, partnerships, and operations experience within corporates and high-growth startups in New York, Hong Kong, and Singapore across equity research, enterprise blockchain applications. She was with IBM Blockchain from 2016 and 2019, working on banking applications, and having more recently worked for Uber founder Travis Kinetics real estate and food delivery venture to support the Asia launch of cloud kitchens. Since graduating from Columbia University with a degree in economics, Priyanka has been passionate about monetizing emerging technologies and launching and scaling new products and services in fintech B2B verticals.
Hi, everybody.
Next, I'd like to welcome Jesslyn. Jesslyn heads Asia Pacific for institutional capital at Polygon. She looks to increase adoption and awareness of Polygon's institutional-grade technology and vibrant ecosystem among institutions, such as, but not limited to, hedge funds, asset managers, family offices, sovereign wealth funds, and central banks. Prior to this, she leads Asia-Pacific growth at Polygon, aiming to bring on the next billion users through bridging Web2 companies to Web3. Think Meta, Stripe, Adobe, and conglomerates of the world. Next one, I'd like to welcome Jonathan Chan. He heads the Launchpad at Bank Julius Baer. Bank Julius Baer's innovation lab in Singapore serves as the bank's incubator to develop and test disruptive solutions with the aim to solve some of the bank's most challenging problems with technology. Prior to joining the bank, John was the APAC digital advisor at Cargill Digital Labs. He also led Cargill's corporate venture building programs in APAC, enabling the development of new digital business models and coaching entrepreneurs on how to use entrepreneurial approaches to building their businesses. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome Aaron. Aaron is the head of marketing at Clayton Foundation. Clayton is the leading blockchain from Asia, focusing on building the metaverse and blockchain for all. Prior to Clayton, he had stints in CoinMarketCap, Microsoft, and NTUC Income Digital Office. After office hours, Aaron is the father of two and a volunteer mentor for youths. All right, great to have you all. It's great to start the panel with you guys. Why don't you open with a quick intro for yourself, your organization, and which part of the crypto ecosystem do you play? Maybe a quick 1-minute intro each. Aaron, please.
Testing. Hi guys, so thank you for having me, Kent, and thank you for Jude and the Plug and Play team. So my name is Aaron, I'm the head of marketing for Clayton Foundation. So for those of you who are not familiar, Clayton is basically the blockchain arm of Kakao. I'm sure many of you must have heard of Kakao Chat. And prior to joining Kakao or Clayton, I thought that Kakao was purely just Kakao Chat, that's all. But having joined it, I realized they have more than 100 subsidiaries. And within South Korea itself, with a population of about 15 million, Kakao is actually ranked #1 within the entire market cap of companies. So in that sense then, due to the legitimacy of our corporate backing, this has accelerated our growth since our founding of 2018. In 2021, we decided to relocate our headquarters to Singapore with a view for global expansion. And since then, we have accelerated our expansion of our ecosystem through signing of partnerships with large conglomerates such as GMO in Japan, One Entertainment in Thailand, Salim Group in Indonesia, so on and so forth. Between us and also those online, we have also recently signed a partnership with OpenSea, the largest NFT marketplace, to be their exclusive Asia partner. So we hope to be the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3 and to be able to accelerate the expansion of the metaverse. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan, a quick 1 minute
Hi.
version.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken, and thanks for having me. So hi, I'm John. I lead a launchpad for, which is Julius Bayer's innovation lab in Asia. So we just recently launched coming about 6-7 months ago. So we're pretty new to the game. What we're here to do is really look at helping the bank itself look at how do we actually explore disruptive technologies and look at how do we actually find ways to actually provide new solutions for our clients itself. So Julius Bayer, we're a pure play private bank from Switzerland, and we've been here for over 100 years now. If you talk about the crypto space, I think we're doing a lot of exploration. I think we're within the bank itself and lab. We're learning a lot about it. We're exploring and we're experimenting in terms of a variety of different topics, from NFTs, the metaverse, as well as looking at digital assets as a whole itself. So looking forward to having the conversation today.
Thanks. Jaslyn?
Hi, this is Jocelyn here from Polygon. So I lead the institutional capital team for Polygon, looking after Asia Pacific. So what that means is working with hedge funds, family offices, sovereign wealth funds, asset managers. And a few examples of that would be, for example, Citibank, Brevin Howard, which is a top hedge fund globally, based in the US. And I won't speak too much, but for Polygon, we've grown tremendously. So where the founders are from very humble backgrounds. Some of them, had parents with, shoe shining background and diamond mining, and then you shine the diamond. And so started in 2017, and fast forward to 2021, we were around 50 employees. In 2022, we grew to 480 employees around the world. And we're a remote first company, so you can work from literally anywhere around the world as long as there's internet connection. And we recently closed a round in February, raised 450 million, valued at 20 billion. And this is led by Sequoia Capital, and with participants, for example, SoftBank, Tiger Global, and Kevin O'Leary, which is famous for being on Shark Tank. And I won't speak too much. I'll let the last speaker speak.
Priyanka, please.
Thanks again. Hi, Kent, for the warm welcome, and thanks, Plug and Play, for having me here. Really good I think my first physical conference in 2 years or 3 years, so good to be here. So I work at Visa and seem to be the only traditional corporate in the room today, so it'll be a different perspective that I'm offering. So if we take a step back, right, I think the biggest development for Visa in the past few years has been an evolution to become really a network of networks. So what that means is we're looking to initiate and terminate transactions and new payment flows off our traditional card payment rails outside of that, which in the crypto context would mean being a bridge between the crypto and the real fiat world, right? So we're helping folks buy, sell, hold digital currencies. We work with all the wallets, exchange platforms, using a Visa card to buy currencies, right? We also want to enable, if you want to exit your positions out of a wallet or exchange and you want to be able to use your card at an actual merchant, right? Having crypto have the utility value. So we're supporting that endpoint where we have about 100 million merchants globally that can accept Visa cards, so using that crypto as well. And then we're also seeing a pillar where we're working with banks and fintechs and all kinds of clients who want to be able to offer crypto solutions and services to their end customers. So instead of maybe going to an exchange to open an account, you can sort of have that buy, sell, maybe even rewards capability within your native banking app, right? So we're looking to kind of advise our clients in that space And we also just finished our stablecoin settlement pilot in 2021 using USDC, which is very exciting for us. We're seeing a demand in that space as well. So really across the board from on-ramp, off-ramp, stablecoins, as well as working with our advisory practices.
Cool. Let's start with understanding some of the trends in the market, as we have a lot of executives from banks, insurance companies, payment firms, and in general financial institutions here. And let's start with Priyanka. There are a number of payment-focused blockchains out there, right? Like Ripple, Stellar of the world, and they've been in the market for a few years. Conceptually, help us understand this. Are they trying to build something that is a totally independent rail of what Visa, MasterCard have been building for years? What's your observation of this segment in terms of adoption rate amongst the financial institutions?
Yeah, great question. So I think we don't really see them as competitors, really. Again, Ripple is one, for example, as you know, is very focused on cross-border money movement, right? And they work with financial institutions primarily. We have a product called B2B Connect, which does something similar where, as opposed to going through the cumbersome sort of correspondent banking process, we can have, a basic send receive functionality using a blockchain network, right? So that's been being built out. And I think from an industry standpoint, we're seeing a lot of players move from POCs to commercialization and scaling of pilots, which is a really good trend to see in general. But I can't really talk about the pros and cons of their rails because I think we're solving a broader, again, problem where we really see ourselves as an enabler between traditional sort of payment networks and sort of these new use cases, right? So as you can imagine, we're already kind of plugged into about 20,000 FIs globally. And as they sort of try to interact with this new emerging crypto ecosystem, Visa kind of helps them kind of navigate that, right? Whether it's connecting them to our partners in this space to use their white label solutions to offer crypto to their clients, or even to support on the merchant side, right? Where we're kind of driving acceptance points for cryptos to be used via card. So we're really working and focused on sort of enabling all of these wallets and exchanges to be able to connect their customer accounts to a Visa credential, right? And be able to kind of convert that into fiat and be able to spend that. Yeah.
Sounds good. And next, I'd like to turn the question, to Jaslyn. I saw that Polygon recently unveiled its SuperNets and Zero Knowledge project. And we know that Polygon is already known as a layer 2 high-performance protocol. What additional benefits are brought by, SuperNet and ZK technologies?
So when you think about, blockchain technology, right? I always think of it from this perspective. Whatever business case you're trying to solve for, the technology should be there as a tool to help you reach that, if that makes sense. So what's your goal and how are you going to build it to reach your goal, right? So I think, ultimately, it doesn't really matter what blockchain you're built on, as long as it provides you that flexibility. For example, is there a huge pool of developers who you can readily hire or, for example, partner with to kind of outsource that development work for you? That's one example. So with SuperNets and Zero Knowledge technology, SuperNets, Polygon SuperNets, to be specific, that's a modular type of blockchain. And what that means is visually what happens is that you can use our SDK, which is a software development kit. You can build your own blockchain. So for example, if you're a startup, if you're a conglomerate, if you're a financial institution, what you can do is you can build your own kind of spider of different blockchains that are all connected to one another. You have the entire flexibility at your disposal. Think of it as all these people or these companies building blockchains, right? What we've done is we've broken everything down into Lego pieces and we've put it in a box for you, and you can now build your own blockchain. Not just one blockchain, but kind of like a SuperNet, like a consortium of some sorts of blockchain that's connected. And you have the flexibility, kind of like a menu, to choose everything that you want. From, for example, the security that you want, the validators, validator nodes that you want to have, which would determine your security, the degree of decentralizability, and also, for example, the consensus mechanism. So it could be, proof of work, proof of authority, proof of stake, for instance, and you could also have it connect to Ethereum, Polygon, or other EVM-compatible blockchains as well. So that's modular blockchain. What we're doing in modular blockchain, which is called Polygon Supernets. So that's that. And then with zero knowledge, it's a rabbit hole in itself. It's back in 2021, that's kind of where it first came about, right? Zero knowledge. I feel like with this technology, it's not really been done before in research, so that's why if you look at the industry, right, we've went out there, and just remember one thing, we spent $1 billion in building in-house the best zero-knowledge technology and also acquiring the best out there. So from research, PhD researchers to engineers, folks who knows how to do this, because there's only like a handful of them out there in this world who knows how to do this. So it's really forefront and cutting edge technology that we're investing into. And so what that does is, for example, institutions or internet companies, they no longer have to hold the data themselves anymore. So what that means, simply put, is that data breach, right? That causes a single point of failure if there's a data breach. And with zero knowledge technology is that you're able to prove something without actually having to hold and know the information. So it's completely, number one, decentralized, and number two, private. So that's kind of what I wanted to share about supernets and zero knowledge technology, yeah.
Exciting developments, and wanting to hear how the financial institutions in the rooms are thinking about it. And apart from the technology side, let's now talk about the business side. With Jonathan, over the last couple of years, we have seen the rise of Magicsport, Babel, and Ember in Asia. A lot of asset wealth management companies in crypto. Now their AUMs are all in the billions. We're seeing some of the very interesting developments in the recent days. And later on, I'll ask Aaron to comment about that as well. But first, we'd love to hear more from Jonathan. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages that traditional private banks have versus some of these new players?
Well, I actually don't think it's really about, I don't say it's a versus, right? I think it's not so much about that. I think for us, it's really looking at how do we actually find ways to collaborate, work together to actually build a new financial future itself. I think I've got an easy question. Aaron's got a tougher one he's going to answer in a couple of minutes. I think, but from our perspective, if I have to share, right? I mean, Julius Baer, we've been around for over 100 years in wealth management. So we like to think that we know a thing or two about wealth management. We learn a thing or two about that. But however, on that perspective itself, right, we're also learning and evolving, right? The way that wealth is being managed, the way that wealth is being managed and passed on from generation to generation is evolving with technology. And I think one of the key things that, advantages that we have, essentially, if you think about it from a Web 2 perspective, right? Web 2 is driven a lot of it by institutions, and the trust in institutions is key to that piece itself. And for us, that the trust that we have and that our clients have with us is really, one of our key advantages that keeps us, on why these families, these wealthy families, do continue to trust us with their wealth across generations in itself. I won't talk. I think that's one of the and one of the things that we know is really about how do we actually manage these relationships and how do we grow these relationships across the generations. One of the key kind of disadvantages, I think I would say, that we have as a large corporate is that the speed at which that we move versus all our competitors out there, right? And of course these new Web3 companies, like you said, the ability to deploy new types of digital assets, new types of products and services, and that are leveraging technology itself. I think for us, it takes us a lot longer. I think you've heard in the innovation space, you always hear, right, that large corporates were like big cruise ships, right? And it takes us a long time to turn and a long time to steer, whereas startups and technology companies, a bit like speedboats, they're able to accelerate the change itself. And I think for us, that's one of our biggest disadvantages, is having to go through layers and layers of alignment, having to look at how do we actually find and figure out what is that key business case before we can proceed, rather than just going out and trying. So if you ask me, I think this, from a business standpoint, we definitely are looking to see how we can partner, and I'm looking to look at collaboration with I don't look at these Web3 companies as a new technology companies as competitors in that sense. They are, but I do want to see how do we actually find ways to collaborate together to build that new financial future.
Yeah, sounds good. Partnership is all that we care about, we promote, and as you've mentioned, some of these companies, they've been moving very fast in the crypto space with a lot of the new things that they can move at the faster space, such as staking, liquidity providing, leveraged LPs, and so on. And some of that have been causing some problems, isn't it, Aaron? So, as you all know, most recently we've seen a crash in the market, or as the industry would love to call it, a market correction. So how will the industry adjust to the current market condition? What's your view, Aaron?
I think that's a very interesting question, and I think that's the question that everyone has on their minds at the same time. So one thing that we need to recognize is that at this current moment, the market cap of crypto is only about 1 trillion, depending on the price. Recently, I believe it just went below that due to Bitcoin correcting below 20,000. Traditional finance market cap stands at about 100 trillion. So where we are at today is more at the forefront. Another question that is constantly being asked also is, are there any systematic risk if crypto market today collapse? I think based on the Lindsay effect, we will know that blockchain is here to stay, not only because of cryptocurrency in terms of its valuation, but in terms of its intrinsic value, what blockchain as a decentralized ledger can bring to consumers. So where we are at, I think we are seeing is that traditional finance, there's all your collateralized assets, there's your leveraging, your margin, all your loans, and there's always assets that are backed behind it. And going back to the most recent crash in 2008, I think it was due to the housing crisis, whereby one domino effect basically led to the rest of the entire market being impacted. However, if we looked at cryptocurrency today, they are basically very self-contained. There isn't much leverage outside of traditional finance in that sense, maybe except for MicroStrategy having borrowed about 200 million to buy some Bitcoin. Other than that, I think where we are at is we are seeing an evolution. And through every crypto winter over, I think, the past 3 or 4 times, we have seen crypto emerging even stronger, not only in terms of the technology, but also in terms of the use case. The most recent crypto winter we have seen after coming out of it was really about DeFi summer, whereby smart contracts were being deployed and users were able to participate in decentralized finance exchanges to be able to trade, to be able to swap, to be able to engage in staking, to be able to make a sort of like a financial provision for themselves. There was also the innovation of play to earn. But I guess moving forward then, where we see it now is that compared to previous crypto winters, everyone was worrying about would Bitcoin even survive. However, fast forward to today, the personal sentiment, I just came back from Consensus conference in Austin, Texas. The vibe was amazing. Everyone was excited, even though Bitcoin was crashing. And this gives us a sense that people are there for the right reasons, and people are exploring the intrinsic value of blockchain itself. Personally, I do not look at my portfolio because I think it's very ugly at the moment. But I believe that fast forward 1 to 2 years' time, even 5 years down the road, there will be a lot of value, intrinsic value, and look at it sort of like a cleansing. Projects that are only in it for the money, they will be swept away through this crypto winter. But what emerges would be stronger projects that will have real value to the consumers. And at Clayton, we are exploring use cases ranging all the way from carbon credits, supply chain management, to even traditional finance.
Thanks a lot. Indeed, a lot of the dust in the industries are to be cleansed. And it's important to see the utility value of crypto and blockchain, to be shown in the years to come. And my next question will go to, Priyanka to talk about, the implication of crypto in the financial services world a little bit more. We all know that one of the utility value of crypto is hopefully also being able to spend it in real life. And crypto has unstable prices or value. I wanted to say apart from stablecoin, but now even stablecoin has unstable value. So can you explain to us how can something like this can be used for payments? What are some of the major challenges that payment firms are facing when you're dealing with crypto?
Sure. So I think we're seeing use cases along, both consumer and B2B, right? But as an example, this is where I'm going to plug in my accelerator program that we manage at Visa. One of our partners we're working with this year called AAA, right? So they're essentially a crypto payment gateway. They have a digital payments token license, which allows them to connect with exchanges, secure the best exchange rates, and then, own that conversion process from crypto to fiat, right? So what this means really is that, let's say you're a Singapore Airlines or an Agoda who wants to be able to offer crypto as a payment option to the end consumer. AAA as a partner could potentially mitigate that volatility and limit that exposure for you by, accepting crypto on one side from the payment, but then giving you fiat, right? So the end client will not actually be exposed to crypto as an asset. So that's like one of these, measures. There's also a lot of opportunity that we're seeing in the B2B space, right? There's about hundreds of trillions of dollars in B2B payment volumes globally. If you think about use cases like employee payroll, vendor supply payments, emerging marketplaces where you have content creators, gig economy workers, traditionally all of this has been happening through wire transfers and checks. And if you can think about, stable coins, to your point, as a new payment trail that's programmable, that's accessible, that's available 24/7, can make it more transparent, efficient, this could be an opportunity where we're really seeing some value. And again, very initial days, we're still conducting pilots, but another use case that I personally feel strongly about is these large global marketplaces where you have buyers and sellers transacting in very different currencies, right? So stablecoin could be that, again, mode to be able to reach these new markets in a more stable, sort of time-efficient way as well. So I think really across the board, a lot of exciting work happening, and I think it's just the start of kind of creating more value. Yeah.
Sounds good. The next one, for Jaslyn, for this fan panel, we want to talk about crypto, we want to talk about Web3, but we have not talked about NFT yet, right? So wanted to ask you, what are some of the ways that actually tokens and NFTs can be used for financial institutions?
Token and NFTs.
And NFTs.
Financial institutions. So I would actually put this very, how I view this is if you take the ability to, so Web3 has given birth to a few tools, right? And those tools are the ability to tokenize assets, both on-chain and off-chain assets. So that could be, if you think about really traditional asset classes, you have, bonds, fixed income, equity market, you have real estate, so on and so forth. So the ability to tokenize something, right? Your traditional assets classes, and also, for example, artwork. Also, for example, loyalty points. These are areas in which you can tokenize, or things that you can tokenize. So these tools, the ability to tokenize, NFTs as a tool, in my personal view, that's a tool. And this kind of really redefines many things, right? As a financial institution, which division are you actually looking at? Are you looking at the retail banking? Are you looking at the private wealth arm? Are you looking at the the markets, the sales and trading? Are you looking at the wholesale side of things, or and the advisor investment banking? There's many different kind of lines of businesses, if you will. So it's all from what are you trying to solve for, or what is the opportunity you're capturing? Is it a problem or is it an opportunity? And so therefore using these tools to capture those opportunities or solve those problems is how I typically approach things. So instead of trying to force fit blockchain and Web3 and everything and in every scenario, you just have to realize that sometimes there's no, it doesn't make sense to tokenize something, or it doesn't make sense to use NFTs in something, or it doesn't make sense to use smart contracts in something, right? So I think the thinking backwards, working backwards from the original kind of problem and opportunity is always the best approach based on the folks that we worked with. So just a couple of examples. So other than the financial institutions, we also work with, for example, Meta, which is previously Facebook. Stripe, which is also a payments company in the US, but they have global presence around the world. And Adobe, obviously, everyone knows them. And Shopify, so online e-commerce. Those are more internet companies. We also work with a lot of traditional conglomerates, family-owned, family-run conglomerates here in Asia as well, and just a huge range with central banks and regulators as well. So we come from the standpoint where it's more of trying to be helpful and trying to help folks understand how to use these tools as opposed to force-fitting things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important not to look for nails with the hammers, but vice versa. And to Jonathan, I would love to learn more about what are some of the gaps in financial services when it comes to serving clients in the crypto space, and what do you think are some of the ways to close these gaps?
I think I'll start off with just topping up a little bit from what Jasmine was saying. Right, it's 5-6 years ago, I meet a lot of blockchain companies, and they're always telling me about, it's the technology, it's the technology, it's the technology. I think if you fast forward to today, it's now from a tokenization perspective, there's so many different use cases. And as a FI, one of the things that we've been looking at recently has been really around like how do we actually provide some of these potential use cases for our clients itself. And if I oversimplify in that sense, for us at least within the private wealth space, we've been looking a lot around we're looking at what our clients want. And today, a lot of our clients are asking us is really around getting access to digital assets itself, in essence, cryptocurrencies. And I think that's one of those things that we're trying to tackle. And one of the gaps that we're trying to tackle is really around the custody element of it, right? As you all know, is the whole not my keys, not my cheese, right? And the reality behind it for us is we're trying to understand and trying to figure it out, right? And one of the big gaps that we have is really the understanding around those use cases and how all of these are going to work from a financial services standpoint. Because there's just, as what you mentioned earlier, Justin, is the use cases is broad, right? With NFTs, there's a whole, in just NFTs alone, there's a whole huge aspect to it. When we talk about the metaverse as well, right? It's another huge aspect in terms of how could we live, interact with, and service our clients in the metaverse itself. So the understanding and the fundamental understanding for us is really the big challenge today, right? In terms of understanding those use cases, and we have to look at it from what problem we're trying to solve from our customer standpoint, right? And how do we actually leverage the technology itself to solve those problems itself?
Cool. Last but not least, I'd like to conclude this segment with a question to Aaron. It's really exciting to launch our crypto vertical together with Clayton. We'd love to hear from you. What are you looking for in this partnership with the Plug and Play, and how do you think we can help the industry?
Yeah, I think first of all, it's exciting to be the founding partner of Plug and Play with regards to the blockchain vertical. I think the interesting thing is that due to the recent hiatus of Terra, there have been an influx of inquiries from Web2 companies looking to join or onboard into Web3. And the irony is that everyone is all asking, why should I partner with you? I think this brings me back to Project Guardian that recently MAS launched in collaboration with JP Morgan. The 4 main pillars that they highlighted was, first of all, interoperability. Second was trusted anchors. Third is about enterprise-grade blockchain. And last of all is about liquidity and accessibility. From our point of view, I think Clayton simply fulfills them all due to the fact of our heritage from Kakao Group. We provide that additional layer of trust. Similar to Plug and Play, having your legacy and some of your credibility and your network of partners, I do see a lot of synergy in terms of how we can collaborate, not only within the corporate space itself, the legitimacy, but within the decentralized space, we have the ability to be agile and to act fast. On top of that, I think what Clayton brings to the table is that in 2021, the Bank of Korea chose us to be the blockchain of choice for their CDBC. And this sort of like adds an extra layer of legitimacy. On top of that, some of the partnerships that we are looking to bring on board, like GMO, the tech giant of Japan, due to all your unstable stablecoins, there's all the talk recently, GMO will be bringing their regulated stablecoins onto the Clayton blockchain. What this means is that the NYNFTC has actually regulated and approved GMO stablecoin, the Japanese yen stablecoin, and the USD stablecoin to be sort of like approved as a regulated stablecoin due to the fact that it is backed one-to-one with a fiat currency. And this gives our partners the confidence to say that when we work with Clayton or Plug and Play, we are working with a trusted partner that have the knowledge, the expertise, and most importantly, the trust to be able to bring us into the Web3. And definitely looking forward to working with Plug and Play to help all the Web2 corporate clients come on board onto the Web3 space.
Exciting journey ahead. Thank you again for all the panelists for the exciting and insightful chat today. Thank you for listening in. Next up, I'd like to welcome Ashwin to introduce the next segment. Ashwin, please.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you all are energized and ready for our next segment. So a quick introduction. My name is Ashwin. I'm the program manager for our Fintech and Insurtech verticals at Plug and Play in Singapore. And I'm going to take you through the next 5 startups they'll be pitching as part of our Fintech program. Just a quick reminder to everybody to please fill in the voting sheets if you want to connect with any of the startups that you see here today. So without further ado, we'll kick things off with our startup pitches. So for our first startup, we're going to introduce Blue Sheets. So Blue Sheets uses machine learning techniques to identify, categorize, and digitize financial data with bank-grade accuracy. And that enables back-end office automation for companies of any size. I'd like to introduce Christian Schneider, CEO of Blue Sheets. Christian?
Thanks, Ashwin. Right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to the event, Plug and Play. We are Blue Sheets, and we are a Singapore-based company. We operate here since 3 years, and we have a global presence already. One of our customers is actually here, MSIG. Thanks for mentioning us earlier as well. We're backed by some of the best investors in the region, and we're looking to also connect with the audience here after our pitch. Pretty simple. We only brought 2 slides because I think it's very easy to flip through the slides, but actually much easier to actually talk about the problem. And I think for Blue Sheets, we have a quick intro video here first, and then we dig into the slides. Do we have the sound? Okay, I'll just talk through it anyways. So at Blue Sheets, we build workflow technology. That's all we do. We focus on financial institutions and insurance companies, and we help them to bring data transparency to their processes. So again, when we say and talk about AI, what we mean by AI is we enable AI. We build data sets. So anyway, on that portion, the topic AI has been overused in this segment, financial institutions and also insurance companies a lot. What it actually means is companies, world-leading companies like OpenAI in the US, need trillions and trillions of data sets to train models, and then finally they can come up with something that will actually lead to a meaningful output, text to image or anything else. So now let's go back to an insurance company nowadays. First of all, a lot of the processing of claims, we'll use the claims processing as an example case here, is still manual. That includes RPA in the process as well. RPA, first and foremost, helps you with tasks, but it doesn't necessarily make your life easier on a day-to-day basis. In certain areas, maybe. So what we see is still missing interoperability, almost no data transparency. Most people in the claims ops are still going to work to actually shift data from A to B rather than adding another value to that data or adding more transparency to it. Yeah, and then also we want to talk about the cost effectiveness of RPA and the turnaround time. First of all, I want to thank Annie from MSIG mentioning us earlier here. We're 1 month into the relationship with MSIG, and we have already brought down the cost by 18% according to her pitch. So I can tell you there's a lot more possible, but that's just the initial implementation phase. Yeah. The way that we look at it is very simple. We're building one data lake where all your data is hosted, and we're bringing insurance companies and financial institutions from 10, 50 data points per, for example, claim applications to over 500 or even over 1,000. That would enable you ultimately to build a very robust data set that you can first of all repurpose for several different units within your organization, be that a claims management system, your ERP system, or any other system you want to overlay. And then, of course, 5 to 10 years down the road, when we actually implement AI into the process, it will allow you to tap into these rich data sets that are all uniform in your system across regions, across lines of business, okay? This will be very important. The industry leaders will all have these data sets available. They can deploy AI, but nobody else will. So therefore, yeah, I want to conclude this pitch, and yeah, please talk to us. We're around here. We have our BD team here as well, so yeah, happy to connect. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have a louder round of applause for Christian? So for everybody at home and everybody here, please indicate on your voting sheets whether you'd like to connect with Blue Sheets. Just a quick reminder, if you're still with us, to indicate on your online forms whether you'd like to connect with Blue Sheets. All right, next up, another one of our live pitches, we have Decentro, which is a banking as a services platform which allows fintechs to instantly access a pre-integrated banking ecosystem. I'd like to introduce Saksham Shubham, Business Head of Southeast Asia. Saksham?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just a quick correction. We're headquartered out of Singapore. Okay. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to present here today. We're Decentro. Decentro is basically API banking company that basically connects businesses to banks through APIs. Quickly going through how do we do it. Decentro forms this layer between the bank and basically any company that you would want to connect with the banks, right? So you can look at all the banks, all the financial institutions, you can look at all the government institutions and regulators basically who would lend their APIs out, and we would connect with them. We will create customizable APIs that you can use as a business, which would basically mean doing simple tasks such as collecting and doing payments. Simple tasks such as doing collections and payments, and maybe even going and approving KYCs, KYBs, and at the same time also taking care of any lending solutions or anything that you would want to do on top of that. So like you can also take care of any incremental revenue tasks that you would want to product features that you would want to build within your application. Currently we are going live with DBS in Singapore. And we are slowly integrating with Citibank and Standard Chartered, which would also come soon enough. With DBS right now, we have payments and virtual accounts capabilities, and that's what we are going to start with initially, and then we'll move on to other products that will be much more distinguished and much more customizable for particular use cases for businesses. Now, just to look at the slew of products that we have on offer, the first thing is payments. Obviously, except that that's the most simple thing that you can do with what we do here in most of the business, right? So you can collect payments and you can make payments, whether you're B2C or whether you're B2B. Even enterprise companies can actually make these payments. Accounts, we have a functionality called as creation of virtual accounts. So you can, we have a lot of Insurtech pitches here. So a simple integration there could be to look at, taking payments for any insurance premiums, or even enterprise-grade insurance premiums can be created. Like virtual accounts for enterprise can be created where you can accept payments and such. We have cards. Pretty basic use case. And lending, obviously, we can also offer APIs through our lending partners in the future. Now, banking integrations, why would you want them? Generally dealing with banks, because they are mega corporations, they have a lot of people, a lot of departments, it's difficult to deal with them, and you would want things to move faster, and that's where we come in with customizable APIs so that you can build products as soon as possible. Also, we bring the cost down to over 90%. Instead of a CapEx model, we work more on an OpEx model, and it makes a lot of sense for especially budding startups who are looking to integrate with products pretty early on in their system. Proof of concept. We have more than 160 clients across India and Southeast Asia, and about more than 120 million plus hits on a monthly basis, and $3.5 billion plus in annualized GTV that is processed, right? And obviously, the go-to-market for us is close to about 1 to 4 weeks. These are the current companies that we are currently working with, so these are our partners. We have a credible list of investors that have invested, investors and advisors that have helped us through the journey. And this is the team. Happy to reach out to anybody who's interested. So these are the details. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Saksham. Just a quick reminder to everybody to please fill in your forms, and also to hand your forms back to the registration when you leave today. Reminder to everybody at home as well, please fill in the form on the poll that's popping up right now. All right, next up, we have Flow of Work, which is a talent opportunity and insights platform that helps organizations grow and retain critical talent and reduce cost. Please welcome Helena Turpin, CEO of Flow of Work.
I'm Helena from Flow of Work Co., a work tech startup on a mission to make it easy for companies to retain, develop, mobilize, and upskill their employees. What if we told you there was a way to reduce staff turnover, upskill employees, and save money on hiring costs? Sound too good to be true? Let's meet Fiona. She's a product manager who's worked for her company for 4 years. She's reached a stage where her growth has plateaued and she's feeling a bit restless. She decides to chat with her manager about it, but isn't expecting too much. This time things are different. Thanks to Flow of Work Co., she's invited to share her career goals, stocktake her top skills, and identify what she can do to prepare for her next step. Instantly, she's matched to 3 e-learning courses, an internal mentor in the product space, and with her new skills, network, and confidence, she's even identified to lead an internal product launch. Imagine what it would unlock for your company if you knew the future aspirations, career pathways, and skills of all your employees. Now let's meet Sam, Fiona's manager. Sam's a seasoned product lead. She's well connected and always supportive of her team's growth. But she's always dreaded career development conversations because usually it means someone's looking to leave. Thanks to Flow of Work Co., she's got visibility of her entire team's career goals and aspirations and is now more equipped to hold meaningful career conversations. With our product, Sam and Fiona were able to articulate Fiona's career goals and identify the skills needed to get there. Sam could also easily find internal opportunities for Fiona to develop and grow those skills. And at the same time, Sam had been trying to find someone for that product launch and couldn't believe that she hadn't considered Fiona in the first place. It's simple to get started. All we need is an Excel export from your HR or payroll system. Next, we invite employees to share their target role, career goals, and help them understand the skills needed to get there. Then we bring together your company's learning, mentoring, projects, and internal jobs in a single seamless experience. Then employees can be matched to opportunities within your organisation rather than having to look outside of it. Accompanied by real-time market insights, will help you unlock the full potential of your people and remove the guesswork from your human capital strategy. Finally, our powerful AI engine enriches and organises your people data, giving you a rapid, searchable X-ray of employee skills, career goals and talent insights, right at your fingertips. At Flow of Work Co, we're passionate about helping people find their version of meaningful and fulfilling work, which gives them meaning and purpose. Since we launched last year, we've secured 5 enterprise customers globally who share our vision of changing the future of work for their people, and we're just about to announce an exciting new customer in New Zealand in the energy space. We've won awards for innovation in HR tech in Australia, and we reached the final of a large work tech competition hosted in the US. Here are some of our proudest moments. At this point, we're on track to hit $1 million of revenue by the end of the year. The market for work tech is big, and with such enormous appetite amongst companies to innovate, customer demand is only expected to grow. We're playing in an $8 billion market, and we're just getting started. We're a team of former colleagues who bring together deep domain expertise, as well as skills and experience in engineering, analytics, sales and operations. We're supported by some of the industry's best and brightest minds. With only a small amount of pre-seed capital, we've built an enterprise-grade, award-winning solution used by some amazing global brands looking to build the future of work with us. So now we ask the question, are you in?
Thank you. Just a reminder, if you'd like to connect with Flow of Work, please fill in the form. Just another quick reminder to please hand the form in before you leave today. All right, next up we have Vestu, which specializes in data-driven risk management solutions for the P&C and L&P markets. Let's hear from the Vestu team.
Artificial intelligence is everywhere these days. It's in your car, your handheld device, or even in your refrigerator. Yes, really. We all know that AI utilizes advanced algorithms to conduct computational predictions or interpretations. But there is no other like Vestu's, which can predict the future loss of any insurance portfolio. So, prepare yourself, future. You just met your match. Vestu is the world's first AI-based marketplace for life and P&C risk transfer and investments, bridging the insurance and capital markets. Our proprietary actuarial AI algorithms seamlessly convert insurance portfolio data into highly objective and accurate risk projections. This means we can compute and predict the development of loss probabilities within any insurance portfolio. This, in turn, allows us to rapidly structure, price, and place our deals, transferring insurance risk to capital market investors, essentially democratizing the reinsurance market. So basically, our AI brings the future of the portfolio to your fingertips, accurately, objectively, and independently. How does it work? Let's break it down. We start the process with input from large data sets from various sources, such as historical data from the underlying portfolio, inflation data, and exogenic events. In addition, parameters, models, hyperparameters, constraints, and goals are defined. We combine traditional actuarial models to create new, unique, and proprietary risk models. And then, Vestu's magic happens. The data is split into training and testing data sets on which the risk models train. They're then evaluated for their predictive performance by carrying out thousands of simulations, resulting in robust model cross-validation. Next, basis risk is reduced by optimizing the risk transfer payout function. At the end of the process, the one model with the best predictive power is selected, with no human intervention. The future looks crystal clear and objective, doesn't it? That selected model is applied to each policy, aka bottom-up analysis, creating robust forecasts for the best estimate, standard deviation, and stress scenarios. The result? The portfolio-specific stochastic projection. With Vestu's solution, insurers benefit from flexible and affordable structures to hedge their portfolios while providing diversified, uncorrelated investments for the capital markets. We like to call it our in-house oracle, or in simple words, data-driven, fast, objective, predictive power. Hey future, not so unpredictable anymore, are you? They say that the biggest risk is not taking any. We say that the biggest risk is not knowing what's coming. Vestu.
Thank you. If you'd like to hear more from the team or connect with anybody from the team at Vestu, please fill it in the form. All right, to round things off for our FinTech program, please welcome Compliance AI, who provide actionable regulatory intelligence for financial services compliance professionals. The team from Compliance AI.
Since 2008, the number of regulatory changes have tripled, and the pace shows no sign of slowing down, especially for the financial industry. This makes a compliance officer's job increasingly challenging. To keep up with regulations, analysts sift through tons of content, and even then, mistakes are made. And when mistakes are made, the consequences can be disastrous. Compliance.ai transforms how we manage regulatory change. It automatically curates regulatory content, distills it all into meaningful insight, and finally, makes it available to you from anywhere. Financial, federal, and state regulatory data is curated using machine learning models, all guided by a group of hand-picked regulatory heroes. Compliance.ai provides focused regulatory insight, saving time, reducing cost and risk, while giving compliance officers much-needed peace of mind.
As a compliance professional, you routinely need access to regulatory updates, news and announcements from various agencies, and very specific legislation documents. In this video, we'll give you a quick overview of how you can do all that and more with Compliance.ai. When you arrive, you're going to land on the dashboard, where you'll get some visual insights as well as quick links to other things that matter. Here, we've got a graph showing you the rate of publication from various agencies and the types of documents they've been sharing. Then if I want to look here, I can see previews of documents from different agencies, new updates from every agency I'm interested in following, news updates as well. Looks like we've got brand new publications just today from the FTC and CFPB, and then other popular documents and graphs throughout. Let's dig in a little bit deeper here. So the CFPB has 2 items published just in the last couple days. I'm very interested in the Fair Lending Report. Switching to this document allows me to read the entire report as it is listed on the Federal Register. I can go for reading that individual PDF, or I can go through and read all of the updates on the timeline from all of my sources that I care about. This is a great location for being able to research what's going on from the CFPB. And if I just want to see what they are publishing, I'm able to filter the results, apply, and get them in order, showing rules, upcoming rules, comment close dates, and anything really pertinent for today. This is an example. We've got lots of options of where you can go ahead and do your research or get your latest updates at Compliance.ai.
All right, thank you guys very much for your attention. That rounds off our startup pitches for our financial services program. If I could ask you to just please take a second to fill out the voting sheet. If you want to connect with any of the startups, understand a little bit more about their solutions, Just indicate it in your sheets and we'll help you make those connections. All right. Thank you very much for your time. To round things off, I'm going to hand over to Leila, our Partner Success Manager for Financial Services here in APAC. Leila?
Thanks, Ashwin. Hi, everyone. My name is Leila, and I oversee our partnership deliverables for Fintech and Insurtech verticals here in Singapore. First of all, how's everyone doing? I know it's been a long day, yeah, and we're all probably a little bit rusty with this whole in-person event thing. It's a lot to take in, and I understand I stand between you and your machine to coffee break, so just bear with me for a few minutes. So to close our financial services segment, I'd first like to thank all of our program startups for just allowing us to be part of your amazing growth journey. We wish you all the best from here on. And secondly, I'd like to thank all of our speakers and panelists today for your insightful sharing and discussions. And last but not least, I would love to thank all of our corporate partners and community partners, those in the audience as well as those online. Really, thank you so much for being here today and for your continuous support. So as mentioned earlier on, we have a lot of exciting changes, events, and activities coming up with the programs, with the new crypto vertical launch, and also with new partners joining us. So I just want to give you a little sneak peek into what's going to happen for the second half of the year. So we are kicking off our financial services program, Batch 8 program actually, next month, together with our health program startup Chrysphere, Batch 2, also in July. And as part of the financial services Batch 8 program, we've planned out a few really exciting activities. For example, POC workshop to allow our corporate partners and startups to better collaborate together on proof of concept projects moving forward. And also a lab crawl event for Singapore Fintech Festival, and Circle of CEOs events to bring together startups, startup founders, in fact, to share about their learnings, key takeaways. Yeah. And of course, we'll have our APAC Summit that's happening in November. And we will also be hosting an Investors Day for our investors in the audience in July. So this will be for financial services startups. For those of you who are interested in investing in innovative financial services startups, please mark this date in your calendar. And let me see if I missed out on anything. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please approach myself or the rest of the team. And thank you very much again for spending your afternoon with us. And enjoy the rest of your time here at APAC Summit. Back to you, Wayne. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Leila. Because of time, we will be powering through to the next segment. So we have 5 minutes break, toilet break, and coffee break for you guys. We will see you back in just 5 minutes' times. All right, thank you for those of you who are joining us online. Please continue on to the GK Plug and Play Indonesia segment for the next, in 5 minutes. Okay, thank you guys. See you guys in 5 minutes.